We gotta talk about Steph Curry. Steph, this ain't the time to be tired of Not Like Us. It's in every single faction of media right now. Like,
rap is not what rap used to be. Niggas don't care about impacting the streets no more.
Maybe for the good of unity, maybe even the good of the culture. Maybe Drake should try one more time. Maybe he should.
But there's a difference when you impact the culture versus when you impact the charts. One of those will never be forgotten. DIYers in what's probably going to go down as one of the worst years to be a light-skinned beige American. I don't say that loosely. Cat Williams predicted all of this, by the way. Maybe not that particular point. But it just keeps getting worse. First, it was Drake. Now, it's Steph Curry.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 guy.
Don't say that about Steph Curry.
Nigga, he a 69
he didn't do
guy.
nothing wrong.
Hey.
Hold on. I got your back, Curry. My bad. Let me make sure I turn these off on the other windows too. Hold on. From what I understand, you a believer and you are somebody who inspires the youth. I see all the amazing things that you do in the Bay Area through Mr. Fab and his amazing platform. You are a man of the people. But the last year, you've been saying doing a lot of questionable things, really on a low. But also, here comes another one of those. Steph Curry, after hearing Not Like Us, has this to say. Damn with this song, is how he starts it off. It's not the only song in America.
Boy, if you don't get...
As he passes by LeBron James, LeBron James says, I love it.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth. I'm gonna tell it.
Okay, I get it. The song has been played a lot. It's an understatement. The song is going insane. But I kind of have a theory about it. Before I get to that theory, though, we got to talk about Steph Curry. Steph, this ain't the time to be tired of Not Like Us. I know that he's friends with Drake. I know that him and Aisha. I know that you friends with Drake. Y'all went to In-N-Out when he was out here. I get it. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to see a song about your friend being sold some crazy things. Because if you believe those crazy things, then you got to question why are you friends with him and bringing the kid. Steph, you say that you're tired of the song. I get it. A lot of people are, specifically OVO fans. But something is really fishy about it, and I got questions that go deeper than just you being tired of a song. And it's because of you being the executive producer or one of the producers on this horrendous-ass TV show. Ever since this, I know you tired of Not Like Us. I'm starting to get a little tired of Steph Curry, an amazing basketball player. I'm a Laker fan. I'm only going to say so much. One of the greatest shooters of all time. But when I saw that you were a part of this atrocious-ass, minstrel show-ass TV show that is a remake of Good Times that doesn't have the blessing from the original cast, this buffoonery, I started scratching my head.
I have important news.
Let me guess. The state called and they want to cut you a disability check for your face. Hold up. You can get paid for that?
This is from a fool who stares at his orange juice every morning.
It says concentrate on the box. Who the dummy now?
Shit. Me for not wearing a condom.
Shadows fall over my heart.
Netflix need their ass beat too.
It all started with my grandfather, James Evans. My job as the man of this house is to take care of this family no matter what.
I just want to let you know I'm going to take good care of Gray.
Who is this I'm about to kill?
Juan, my boyfriend. Daddy, let him go.
Bug eyes. Bunch of stereotypes being lashed left and right. I'm sorry. You don't like Not Like Us because it's getting on your nerves. I'm sorry this cultural moment is so loud. This one was louder than me, though. I was sick of this show before I even got a chance to see it. The trailer was all that I had to see. The trailer was all I had to see. We're only 37 seconds into it. From executive producers, Stephen Curry, Norm Lear, and Seth MacFarlane. MacFarlane, you should know better. Steph should know better, but Seth MacFarlane, oh man, I know he does like some edgy comedy, but golly, I'm not even gonna play the rest of that trailer. But when I saw that was the first thing I thought about. Like, we need to have conversations about what is our true contribution? What do you identify with? And how invested are you in that? I don't have any kind of questions or doubts about Steph Curry and his charitable contributions and whether or not he takes care of that Bay Area community. The proof is all there. No doubt about it. But because you do one thing, don't excuse one thing. So when I seen this and I seen that about this is a cultural moment. Matter of fact, beyond just if you're West Coast biased, beyond if you're Kendrick or you're Drake biased, it's a song in hip hop that is becoming bigger than just hip hop. It's becoming mainstream pop culture. It's in every single faction of media right now. Like, this is a moment. This is what music needed, damn it. Everybody talks about how trash music has become and, oh, there's not any moments anymore. We've only seen the moments in the past. This is one of them. And now we're already complaining? Of course, the internet had a field day with this. Specifically, Jermaine Dupri had some really, really interesting things to say. He gave some perspective on this. I want to share this here with you because he made some really, really valid points.
I hate getting this walk. I want to say shout out to everybody that came out to the LL Cool J event last night. I learned something, I think, when I was there. And what I think I learned is that the reason why it's no male stars in hip-hop anymore that have the impact that LL Cool J has and had is because the goal in hip-hop used to be impact. Not sales, not charts, impact. How hard, pause, you could impact the streets. And that's to me is the sole reason why rap is not what rap used to be. Because niggas don't care about impacting the streets no more.
So, matter of fact, where's that post? It's not okay, so he says in the caption, let me actually move this over here. He says, I just saw Steph's reaction to Kendrick record, and I thought it was very ironic because what he is feeling is a record impacting the streets. And this new generation is not used to that. I'm sure many of y'all don't understand what I'm saying, so let me know your thoughts. There was a time when music was so damn good and the moments were so damn large they didn't even need the internet for them to, one, reach the masses, and two, for it to be just as equally annoying because it was played on the radio every hour on the hour. There was a time period where that you couldn't get away from it if you liked music. Maybe if you went to your Walkman or your tape player, but you couldn't get away from it. The conversation was even had there. So this is a moment that is happening in this era. I'm sorry so many people are not used to seeing this, but I look at this and I'm like, where was y'all when 106 in Park was on? And Bow Wow was dominating the charts. Soulja Boy was dominant. Like, where were y'all when that was a consistent thing on the cusp of the internet and it was on a regular basis? I'm not trying to say that nobody out here may not just be tired of hearing the same song in every single place. All I'm going to say is this. This song has been played every single place you could think of. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, including the Kids' Choice Awards. The Taylor Mack posted this on her on her Instagram account. Look at this. Say, bro, Not Like Us getting played at the Kid Choice Awards is insanity because of the context. Could you imagine how loud it was in there when it, hey, mine? Kids got a frequency that adults don't have. That is crazy. Okay, maybe I'm starting to get why some people may be tired or fatigued of the song. You thought that was bad. Did you guys have a chance to play the Not Like Us video game? Did you know there was a Not Like Us video game online free to play for anybody? Suku tells you everything about it here.
Has anybody played the Kendrick Lamar Not Like Us video game yet? Did you know that there's a video game called Not Like Us? Well, I'm here to tell you. I don't know if Kendrick Lamar approved the game or not, but it's out there, and you can play it. Go to notlikeuSgame.com and try your hand at Whack-A-Owl. Oh, my God, it's Whack-A-Mole, but with owls, because there was a mole in the camp, so
I think he's doing a play on how everybody's finding the conspiracy in every single thing that Kendrick raps about on these diss songs. It's hilarious.
Tap the screen and hit an owl. Tap the screen and hit an owl. That's all you got to do. The whole game is it.
It's one of the fastest songs to ever reach 100 million streams, if not the fastest song in hip-hop ever. Now there's a 8-bit video game. There's no getting away from this.
23 is the highest score I got because for some reason, I don't know if this was intentional.
Don't say it.
But as soon as you get to 18, it becomes a lot harder.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Not the developers, not the coders. Somebody said something along the lines of that being one of the same coders of Fortnite. Script 2 Dope here just said, on Twitter, the developer said he purposely made the game get harder after 17. Not y'all having double entendres in the video games too. What is life? What I enjoy the most about everything that is happening is it's not even the downfall of another man. It's not about that. In my opinion, the things that I felt like Drake was an example of, an avatar of, that normalized certain types of behavior in hip hop, mainstream rap specifically, there are things that need to correct themselves for the culture to evolve. We're a part of that correction process. So many of us were under a hypnosis because of the allure of making more money, the allure of mainstream acceptance, the allure of all these different things that Drake represented. So much so that when Mos Def, one of our most cherished artists in the culture, in hip hop, when he stood up and said, Drake is like Target. Look at all the skews. They attacked the legend. They called him a hater, as if he himself didn't originate so much of what we see today as the rapper turned actor that finds success in that medium. As if he didn't do black on both sides. As if he and Talib Kweli didn't create Black Star. And I don't think it's we. I think it's a lot of younger fans who are not necessarily fans of hip hop who just attack anybody who they think is attacking their 6ix9ine God. Among one of those people who are very vocal is Ebro. You know, Ebro never bites his tongue. Hot 97 Ebro says Drake doesn't have a regional identity and sounds like LA native Kendrick Lamar. Out of touch with what black people stand for. What do you mean, Ebro? This is on his podcast on Apple Music.
And I'm going to say something that I don't think a lot of people have discussed, and this is important. One thing about hip-hop is it's regional.
Yeah.
Geography is important. The map and the areas you own, when it comes time for somebody to take your head off, is very important in this game. It always has been. Mm-hmm. What's yours? Jay-Z, Brooklyn, Nas, Queens, Pac, West Coast, Biggie, Brooklyn. Like, you think about all Meek Mill, Philly's mine. Like, these are mine. You can't even fuck with me in my town. When Kendrick dropped They Not Like Us, bro is basically saying, A, I'm from Compton. Like, I'm from this. I don't even make these type of records. Mm-hmm. Never even made one of these before. B, I'm going to own my zone. Literally, I'm going to provide my backyard where I live, where my family's cousins, where I went to school, with a soundtrack for this beef right here.
Defending my home
I'm going to put a flag down to defend my home turf. And on the same song, I'm going to ridicule you about co-opting Atlanta into your shit.
That was the most important part.
So now you can't even go ask them for a sound. And by the way, bro, what is your sound? What is yours? What do you own? Is what Kendrick, I feel, is asking on his song, because this is what I own.
Can I be honest with you? I feel like Drake's biggest lyrical misstep in this whole battle was the line about you always acting like we're about to free the slaves.
Sheesh.
Like, knowing, I feel like the one thing, Ebro says it all the time, that you feel like he's never stood for anything. The one thing we could get at Drake for as much music as he's given black culture, he's never stood on anything like that. For him to have the balls to say that was crazy. He walked straight
insane
into that verse being called a colonizer. That was nuts. To me, that was his biggest fumble in this whole thing. The AI shit, the Pac shit, I know y'all were really upset about it. I wasn't that pressed.
That's what I said.
To me, this was the biggest misstep he's made so far.
All of them cooked. All of them cooked. Could there be anything in there that deserves a debate? I don't see a necessity to debate what's going on here. You know, I don't think we can blame Drake for music and hip hop, mainstream rap, I should say. Music and mainstream rap losing its regional strength, right? I don't think we can blame it. As a matter of fact, I think that's even an extreme comment to say. I don't think that regions have lost their sounds, but I do think that more so than ever, there are an abundance of artists who come into the game and say, because of the example that Drake set, I need to be able to rap, sing, and do pretty much any style of music that I can get my hands on or collaborate my way to. I don't think that Drake is the originator of that. Matter of fact, I remember a XXL article interviewing 50 Cent where he talked about when he first came into the game with Get Rich or Die Trying. He talked about how he strategized on how to take over every single region right? By being able to have the flexibility to get on Down South beats, have the flexibility to get on West Coast production with Dre, to have the flexibility to have these super NY New York records, right? Jamaica Queens type of records. Having the ability to go into the Midwest and work with a Eminem and find different sounds within there. You know, he talked about doing that very strategically. However, one thing that is the biggest difference between his approach to doing that and Drake's approach, he did not lose the New York in him in the process. Matter of fact,
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
even in the corporate world, he still ain't lost Jamaica Queens is all throughout. He's still petty as ever. And there's people out here who are like, it's not that deep. It is that fucking deep. It is. Because there are kids that look at you and say, you mean somebody that looks like me, that's from this very city that I'm struggling in right now, that sounds like me, likes the same Tams that I go to? You mean to tell me that I could do this shit too? Kendrick did it. Why can't I? It represents hope, right? It also was a sense of pride. I felt the pride. Even at 39, I felt the pride watching Kendrick, and I'm like, I'm at the place in my life now where it's like, I don't need everybody else to love the West Coast for me to love the West Coast. But there was a time where I was like, why they don't love the West Coast like we love it? It's amazing music out here. Oh, y'all sound too regional, yada, yada, yada. But it was a proud moment when I watched that show and I saw the sound be celebrated. People asking questions online. Yo, who was this artist? Who was it? Hey, yo, who is it? Who the cousins? Proud to see that. But it's hard to feel that pride in somebody that doesn't feel like, doesn't sound like, doesn't smell like, doesn't do anything remotely regional. What is the sound of Toronto? I'm sorry. I am not going to sit up here and overlook the contributions of Chaos. Shout out to Chaos. You're a superstar. Shout out. He ain't the only one, but I'm saying these are the folks who are more interested in what the region has to offer. There are black Canadians right now pissed off at this situation. Chalk Laird, Cardinal Offshaw, thank you for the reminder. There are folks right now who are like, yo, we never said that Drake was a sound. We just showed love to him because he was at the forefront. But don't get it twisted. We still have our own sound out here.
What do you mean, huh?
Damn, Curtis.
What do you mean? Nah, what do you mean? Don't tell me that they sleeping on me. Nah, what do you mean? Nah, what do you mean? I ain't thinking about nobody but this green boy. What do you mean? The Llama, California made a king. Nah, what do you mean? Nah, what do you mean? I wake up and I get to be me, bitch. What do you mean? Where them folks at? Where them jokes at? Where them people that was handed out them nose at? It's a ghost town, probably cause they know now. I'm getting closer to the chili, bitch, I'm cold now. The big bear when he got it on his own, yeah. Really took it to the level that I told y'all. Oh, you laugh when my car hit the toe, yeah. Now that I'm up, I hear him yelling that I owe y'all. No need to switch it up, I'm posing, let me flick it up. You wasn't really familiar with my game, it was a mix-up. I said they clicked up, probably cause they sick of us. Until we pop right up on them niggas like a stick up. My cup runneth over and I'm filling up a big cup. You looking better, let me pay for your chin tuck. Bag it up, I'm on need room for this Brinks truck. I can never lose, so don't bring it up. What do you mean? Nah, what do you mean? Don't tell me that they sleeping on me. Nah, what do you...
I want to go ahead and get into something that's a little bit more serious on this topic because we're going to keep talking about culture. One thing that y'all ain't going to get me to stop talking about is the culture, and I'm so glad. But John Johnson, a comedian that we covered in a video before, he is on the rise, and he is, man, it's a fresh approach to comedy. I get a little bit of like Dave Chappelle sometimes and how he approaches topics that are a little bit more complex and nuanced. But the way that he approaches explaining to people why the pop-out concert was so important to the region, I hope by the end of this you understand not just why Not Like Us is such a cultural moment right here for the West, but why these moments matter to every single region that has them.
To understand how important and powerful that pop-out concert was, you have to understand Nipsey Hussle. Okay? Nipsey Hussle was a rapper that a lot of people, at least as many people as I think should know, don't know. But what is one of the most important things about Nipsey Hussle, and what he would probably want you to know about him and remember about him, besides the fact that he was a phenomenal artist, is that he spent his time, his money, his attention, and all of his intention in improving the lives of the people that grew up around him, improving his community, okay? This dude, This dude would pay for shoes for kids in elementary school that didn't have them. He would get repaved basketball courts that were in disarray, right? He would pay and help raise funds for funerals of victims and their families of gun violence, right? And this is all in his neighborhood. So the same way that people come up, he tried to bring everybody with him. That was his mission. He made it his mission because, yes, he was a great artist and he was getting on and everything, but you just getting out is not enough, right? Sometimes people make it out and then people don't, how do I put this? It's not enough if you just make it out.
Sheesh.
You want to bring people with you. Imagine you're in a burning building and so is your whole family. What credit is it to you? What does it really say about you if just you make it out? It means you ran out. Damn. And you left everybody else. And Nipsey was like, I will die in a burning building if it means I get as many people out as possible, right? You know?
Stay tuned for this next part, though, because he really puts it in perspective, the difference between, and I see all the RPs in here, absolutely rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. He breaks down why it's not just about the contributions, because people like to try to put it on an even playing field. Well, it's not like Drake hasn't ever given to any charities or anything in Canada and da-da-da-da. This is not the point here. It's not about going tit for tat for charity. Listen to this next portion, and I hope you understand. This is more of a statement of character.
Because it's very easy. It's one of the easiest things to do because all of your experience is relative to you, right? So you actually, as much as we may look down on it, you can't always fault someone who forgets where they came from, especially if you came from a bad place. Sometimes you try to forget where you came from. You know, I used to think about that. I was like, damn, if I get rich enough, ooh, I won't be able to find this place on Google Maps. You know, but I mean it. It's like that's an amazing thing. And the other amazing thing, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but Nipsey did so much good. He did so many impactful things. He started so many programs, and he taught how to give back, and he taught people while he was still alive. It's like I want to instruct Black Americans on how to build franchises for themselves, right? So that when we make the money, we'll know what to do with the money, right? And he did all this with what I would consider very little money. Because yes, he was a big artist, and yes, he was a millionaire. But when he passed, when he was murdered, his net worth was about $8 million.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
You know how much you gotta love your people? You know how much you gotta believe in a vision when your net worth is $8 million? And although for most of us, that's a hell of a lot of money, but when you break it down in terms of supporting your livelihood, supporting your successful merchandising business in the Marathon Clothing, supporting workers and folks who are part of your staff, your team, when you're talking about pressing up a lot of stuff direct to consumer, when you're talking about taking out all that kind of money, the cost of doing business alone can eat up all that. Even making that amount, to still put yourself there on the front line and say, I'm going to invest into programs that help kids learn how to code, specifically for my neighborhood. I'm going to invest into these workspaces where people who may not have a quiet, safe place at home to work on business can come in here, rent some time, and then have a space like this in Crenshaw. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that we have to talk about. These are the things that we have to talk about to really understand why culture is getting the kind of love it's getting right now. This is why it always hits different. People had so many things to say about Nipsey as he passed away. Oh, he's not a legend. Oh, he ain't got no Grammys. He ain't got da-da-da-da. They said all these different things, but what they didn't understand, and maybe it's partly their fault for not knowing any better, or partly because the culture wasn't as much of a hot topic as it is now, but there's a difference when you impact the culture versus when you impact the charts. One of those will never be forgotten.
And I think that people don't recognize how low that is in the grand scheme of how rich some of these artists are. We have artists that are billionaires, right? We have artists that are on track to be billionaires, and they don't do what he did with so much, with literally a fraction of what they had, right? And so I think it's important in order to understand that pop-out concert. It's important to understand Nipsey and what he stood for and what he was trying to do. It's also important to at least understand the image and the legacy of Kobe. Because Kobe was also this integral part of LA, integral part of sport, right? And no matter what you think about the man himself, what he did in basketball, the passion that he had, his obsession with his passion is exactly what he wanted to impart on people for whatever it is that they do. Yeah. Whatever it is you do. It doesn't have to be entertainment. It doesn't have to be a sport. It could just be the passion you have for being a father, right? If your obsession is being the best at whatever your passion is, you will make an impact, right? It's why to this day, and when I was little, if I have a ball of paper and a trash can is far enough away. Kobe.
This begs the question, what is Drake passionate about outside of Drake? That's not hate. That's a grown man question. Not you saying nails. You gotta chill, Bucktooth. That's the issue where, don't say teens. Come on, you gotta chill. My minors, y'all see, this is for the whole chat. I was trying to be
freaky ass nigga, he a 69
for the whole chat.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69
I'm putting cases on all of y'all.
Hey.
And if I make it, I lose my mind. And so it's also important, no matter what you think of the man himself. Kendrick is someone that both of these individuals showed love to. And he's someone that has an obsession for his passion, which is music. And he's also someone that through his music, and at least in the intention of how he speaks in every interview and in everything that I've read about him, wants to give the same way that Nipsey gave, right? And sort of be a beacon for those same principles. So then we have something like the Pop-Out concert, which is on Juneteenth, which is a liberation day for black people, right? And then they all come together. And when I say they, I mean every section, every known and probably unknown section of LA's gang members were in one place at the same time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They were all there. And everyone made it about the beef, and he played the diss tracks. Of course they do. But it was bigger than that. It's a 4-hour concert with artists from all over LA, all over West Coast,
my bad.
putting on, making their amazing music shown to the world. And there was even a little detail, like, I haven't verified this thing, but I heard about it, and I know of someone that, at least I think it happened to, where the concert tickets sold so fast that I guess they were checking zip codes. And if you didn't live in or around LA or the West Coast, they were refunding people so that people in LA could go to the concert, right? Because the thing that Kendrick gives, at least to me, the thing that Nipsey gave, at least to me, and the thing that Kobe gives to a certain degree is an appreciation and a strengthening of community. I think that's the thing I'm trying to establish, right? Is that if you're a part of a community, it's important to give back, right? Which is why, outside of any colorism, outside of any part of the beef, the thing that bothered people, and the thing that I think gets missed, because people want to be fans in whole of a person and their work, and it's just not possible. You know what I mean? It's not. You don't actually know the person. So maybe they made a good thing and maybe you like it and that can be enough, right? So this isn't to discredit the entirety of someone making work and then also having to back up that work with being an angel. But I think what bothers people is that community is sometimes equal to culture. So if you're not a member of a community.
Was it misunderstood? Was he really in Toronto delivering this message? Hey, if he was in Toronto delivering this message, hey, you might be the GOAT already. See, I did it already. I'm sorry. You might be the GOAT. Was he in Toronto delivering this message?
And you take from the community. Let's say you're a business that moves in and all you do is sit there and let the people spend money, and then you send that.
Y'all are saying yes? Oh, man. Oh my. Not you telling them how to be a better community member in their community. Not you in his community teaching him community ethics and community 101 in his...
Away from the people who spent the money that you put that... What place do you have here? We're trying to build something, we're trying to build up. And you're just taking, right? And I understand business is business, but you're just taking. And I think that's what bothers a lot of artists about Drake. it's not that he's light skinned, whatever. It's literally, I promise you, it's the fact that you're not actually trying to be or in the community, but you take, and what do you give? You're a billionaire unto yourself. Who else did you get out the house?
Damn.
Because Nipsey did so much, and he did it, and he left with a net worth of $8 million.
Jeez.
How many hundreds of millions? How many hundreds of millions does Drake have? And I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money. I'm just saying that when we look at who's doing what and when they're doing it, you got a lot left. So when you have a concert like that, right? When you have a concert that's a day of liberation and you've grabbed all of these different sections out of LA, like you gotta understand what it is for some of these people to be in the same room. By any other metric of any other time, they would be in the streets killing each other. And now they're all inside in one place right now, right? So I think that's what got so many people so emotional about that moment when they were all on stage together dancing together, dancing the way, and I understand that there are lots of black people who don't have the take that I have about it, that think that any mention,
we're getting to the end right now, just letting you know,
gang culture shouldn't be equated to any part of blackness, and I understand that, but I'm saying we are where we are, right? Those are black people, and yes, they've been in situations and they've been in conditions where they are gang members, but if you have a day like the pop-out concert, and you have another day like the pop-out concert, you have another day like the pop-out concert, all of a sudden...
Ahava, thank you.
All this stuff, it just disintegrates. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about a future, right?
Yeah.
You had more gang members than any of... We do not know how many gang members were on that stage, but they were all dancing together. And sure, it was to call Drake a pedophile. I understand that. I understand. But they had to dance to something, right? And so...
Good point.
It was actually fascinating to watch because there were clearly a lot of people
Tamisha,
on that stage that did not want to be on the camera. They didn't want to, you know what I mean? They didn't want to be on the Amazon.
I ain't gonna lie. I seen some of the folks tweeting that was next to some of the people that wasn't tweeting, and I could kind of tell they were saying it without saying it, but they was like, all right, let's chill on all of these. Let's chill on all, like an announcement of all the hoods. Like I seen somebody do a whiteboard breakdown of all the hoods that were on stage. They're like, don't do that shit. I stay here. Very careful. You got to tread around that one carefully. But he's right. A lot of people was like, put this shiesty mask on real quick.
Because even if I think one of the reasons people are having trouble finding the words to describe what an impactful and beautiful moment it was is because to tell the whole of it is not only hard to do, it does feel a little like snitching. You know what I mean? Like if you're like he was there and he was there and he was there. Now all of a sudden the LAPD is like, tell me more.
Oh.
You know? And so maybe for the good of unity, the good of the community, maybe even the good of the culture, maybe Drake should try one more time. Maybe he should.
Just for the love of the culture. Just one more time. I mean, Drake, you might as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you tired of Not Like Us? Well, let's get Not Like Us 2.0. He got 5 more. Aren't you curious about what he might say? Because after this, I mean, how much more can you say about me? You dropped 10 songs about me and all the terrible things about me. How much more can you say? What else? At this point, I might have what you call it earlier? A humiliation kink. I want to know too. At this point, you got to know more about Drake than he know about himself. The reason you tired of the song maybe has to do with you maybe not understanding the cultural moment that is occurring. I have questions for those that keep complaining about it. What are you actually tired of? Is it the kicks and the snares? Is it the hey minor? Is it the fans that are enjoying? Are you mad that somebody's having a good time? What are you tired of? And then I want you to think about this. When was the last time you were this tired of one song? It's been a minute, huh? It's called good fucking music being made. I'm so sorry that you have been attacked by such mediocre music that this is a moment that you don't want to have anymore. Yeah, it's terrible. Hit songs are terrible sometimes.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 God.
Those are my thoughts, DIY. You let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.